So it's really great to have you on the show. I'm so excited to have you, especially right after your global series. So why don't you introduce yourself, even though I've done a little intro in the beginning, and tell the people who you are, where you work, and then we'll start.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. It's really good to be here this morning. My name is Hyacinthe Lescoët. I'm the co-founder of the Cambridge Public House, a cocktail pub in Paris, and also the co-owner of Little Red Door, also in Paris. And I'm a bartender, owner, and everything that's related to this profession,
All
this
that
age
great
of time.
stuff. Exactly. So here at Lush Life, we always like to go back before we go forward. So it would be great to hear where you're from and, a little bit about your upbringing. Let me see again. It would be great to hear where you're from and a little bit about your upbringing.
Yeah, of course. So I'm from Brittany, from a tiny island in the west of France. I've been going there until I was 18. They went to university. I studied advertising strategy, which brought me to Italy, Germany, and then some internship that I didn't really like. So I moved to London and started to work in cocktail bars. And
Oh, wait. We have to go.
that's where I learned.
There's a lot to unpack there. All right. So a
Mm.
little town in Brittany. And were you always bartending while you were studying? Was this something that you were doing like for extra money, or was that something that came after?
Yes, my mom had two pizzerias. So I was like 12, which is not really legal. I was working there in the summer to just help and make some money. And all the times throughout my university time, I've been working in restaurants, bars, mostly doing like waitering, not really cocktails until London.
Was it something that you thought that you would ever get into? I mean, did you have parental pressure to say, come and take over our pizzerias? Or was it, no way am I doing that? I've got to do something completely different.
No, there was no pressure at all. But it's just, I guess, a lot of people going in my age, going to marketing or communication studies was like kind of where you go when you don't exactly know what you want to do.
All right.
So I think I've been looking. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I've just been okay. I'm going to study, and hopefully, it will appear to me.
But you worked in it for a couple years, you said, and you went around, I guess, Europe, right? Working in advertising?
Still, still studying.
Hmm.
I was doing a master degree in Italy, and then I moved a little bit to Germany. Still in the process of studying, so I've done some internship mm, throughout my university time, and never actually worked full time in there.
And why do you think, what was it about the, say, the drinks industry or what you had been doing that was kind of so seductive that you said, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna try my hand at this?
On my first time in London, it was at the radio bar, and I was barbecuing. So I just wanted to stay for the summer, and I just got interested. So I tried to push really hard to jump behind the bar. Every time I had a single occasion, I tried to study cocktails. It just looked very fun, and also the interaction with the guests and the people, and it was actually also like really good money. So there was a lot of factor that was attractive to this profession. And then I was lucky enough to push the right doors, and world of like world class cocktail came to me, and higher hand services, and and yeah, I started at 69 Cobble Row
Hmm.
and the drink factory, and that's where I actually learned everything.
Um, what do you think it was about it? Was it the, I know you kind of mentioned a few things about the community, about making some money, the cocktails. At that time, did you realize that this could be a profession? Was because it's a while ago.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the first
Yeah.
year I was like, okay, should I go back into what I've been studying, so I don't like waste like the past 5 years of my life. Um, no, I think also my goal after doing some internship, I didn't really enjoy the office job. I didn't really enjoy having like the same schedule every day and doing the same, going to the same office every day. So I think through bartending and also seeing what could happen with like events and guest shifts, and mostly also being my own boss, was something that really interested me.
Especially working someplace like 69 Colebrook Row, which was at, the forefront of, the cocktail renaissance or revolution or whatever you want to call it, especially here in London. You know, those you could blow your mind, I guess, what they were doing then.
Yeah, definitely. But it wasn't really about the cocktails that were interested there. I mean, the cocktails were interesting, of course, but it was more the way the service was going was such a tiny space, but so many people are going through it. Walking there was probably still the best bar I ever walked at because it was like a dance with the team. I was lucky enough to be there at golden age at the bar as well. So it was a really incredible place to walk at. And then
So what
after I entered, sorry, the drink factory part where you can actually see the lab and you can see production. And so, yeah, I was lucky enough for them to trust me to go in every single department of the company.
so having such a great experience there, did you always want to come back to Paris, or did you think that London would stay your home for a while?
Well, I quickly decided to leave London. London was a little too intense for me. It's a really major city. And it's quite long to go any place to commute. Paris seems to be a big city, but it's actually quite small.
I
And
love that you say that. That's so
yeah,
funny. London is a big city, but Paris is not.
actually, I don't think it is. If you want to go from east to west, I cycled there in 30 minutes. London, everything takes 30 minutes minimum in London, uh, which is good, but it just wasn't for me. I think I also cherished the like work-life balance. So Paris was a bit more that to me, and also a business perspective is. I think it was easier for me to open a bar in Paris because I've got like my people here, and I didn't know the market at the time, but maybe Spawner or so came back to Paris, so we had. And I think the cocktail scene wasn't as developed as London, so yeah, a
What
lot
year
of
are we
factors.
talking about? When did you move back?
In 2015,
Okay, so a good 10
uh,
years ago.
yeah, and then I worked
Oh,
at the bar called the Marie Celeste, which is part of the Quixotic project, so Candelaria group,
right.
and I opened a new business for them. And after that, in 2019, we opened the Cambridge.
Yes. So when you were in London, what do you think that in your mind, being an inherent marketer and having studied it for a long time, that you were thinking, okay, I want to have this one day. My goal is to have this kind of thing. I want to have a bar in London. Or, was that kind of an ultimate goal for you that you thought when I get to Paris, I want to do everything that I can to do that?
Yeah, definitely. I think again the ultimate goal was to not have any bosses,
Oh, right. I forgot.
to be
Yes. The
like
no,
to be
I
like
don't think you said that before exactly.
yeah, to be free to do like whatever, kind of whatever I want. Um,
I
so
don't
that was
know.
that was the goal behind opening a bar. And
Sometimes the bar can be the boss, you know?
yeah, there's always the bank. So
Yeah, the bank and the bar, right? There's always some boss.
mm.
All right. So you're working, you're doing new menus, you're overseeing this. Um, did you have a kind of bar in mind? Because it's funny that you started, you know, one that's named after some place in Britain, not Brittany, but Britain. So what were some of your ideas before you started the Cambridge?
Well, like to be honest, when we moved to Paris, we were like maybe a little cocky. We was like, oh, we've been to London, we're gonna move to Paris, we're gonna open the best bar, something like that. And then after 1 week, we realized like we weren't ready, so we pushed back the project
Okay.
for. We didn't decide for how long, but we're like, okay, we're not ready. Hugo's gonna do what he's doing. I'm gonna walk in different bars and restaurants and see how it goes. And we didn't have the idea of the pub at first, but it's with our third partner called Greg. Is from London. We used to work together there, and we realized we miss pubs, so we are meeting every week for some drinks, and then we always talked about it. So the idea came like that, just by having something that we were missing in Paris.
Now you said we. Who was the other person?
Uh, so a guy called Greg Inder,
No, no, I meant
which was
other than Greg. You said we came in, so I wasn't sure if there were two of you at who had come from Paris.
Yes,
Sorry,
apologies.
said come from 69 Colebrook Row or from London back to Paris.
No, my also partner, still partner today, is called Hugo.
Uh-huh.
He's doing more the back of house and the financial development part of the company. He's not working in bars; he's always working as an entrepreneur or in startups, something like that.
Uh,
So he's still today my business partner.
so the three of you got your two Frenchmen and one Brit, and you come up with this idea for a pub type bar, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And did you think, there is kind of a rivalry between the Brits and the French? How did you think the Parisians would take to it?
Let's say everybody loves a pub here.
Okay.
We do have a lot of pubs, but they all have the same offers, kind of. So you can find the same beers and the same food, etc. And it's not really well seen. Sometimes it's a little bit dirty. It doesn't have the same appeal as the pubs you have in London or in UK or in Ireland. So we wanted something a bit more modern. We already saw some cocktail pubs in London where it's a little bit more of a modernized version of a pub. So we really wanted to have this, like, include cocktails and into like casual environment. At the time, there was still very much a speakeasy trend in Paris. You have a lot of speakeasies, and we didn't want to walk in the dark for our life. So we want something very open, something welcoming. Cocktail culture is a bit hard in France because we have a big wine culture and a big beer culture. Sorry.
Of course.
So to have like a very welcoming space to make everybody feels like safe and welcome to enjoy a cocktail, a beer that they want. That was
Now, we
the
will
goal.
talk about obviously the global series, but when you were starting, maybe you can talk me through not just your first menus, but maybe your kind of your mission for it, because you're a B Corp now. I mean, was this always part of your plan?
Well, the last project I worked at before the Cambridge was called Les Grands Verts. It was the new bar restaurant of the Quixotic groups in Paris, and it was a goal to waste as much as possible, to waste as less as possible. Sorry, everything from the kitchen to the bar to the to the furniture was really well thought of. So I got a lot of inspiration from that. But it was mostly to work with seasonality.
Mm-hmm.
I think it wasn't really not nice a bit everywhere, but it wasn't that much at the time, and we always had the idea to change the menu a little bit every week. Because also I find it boring sometimes to work in a bar where you don't really have access to creativity and you just replicate the menu for 1 year. So after a few months, it becomes quite monotonous. So changing a little bit every week, working with season, because we have such a great terroir in France. So it wasn't so much about being like, okay, we're not going to waste anything. It was always to incorporate this in the creative process, but also mostly to have fun and to be playful with ingredients.
Why don't you, do you have, I don't know if you remember, it's been a while since you opened, but some of those first cocktails and how you felt that the people who were coming into the bar and enjoying them kind of, as you said, maybe the dance of that, as you brought up the dance, how they took to these cocktails. Did they like them? Were they open to this? Was it tough to get people, thinking about or thinking the way you thought?
Not to be honest, it was quite easy. The first menu was mostly some like classic twist I've learned from London. There was maybe not very famous in Paris, so we took like a stone fence and worked with quince. We took like an army navy and worked with seaweed. Just having a little twist on this classic, mixing spirits as well into cocktails is something like we always did. And slowly we worked throughout the cocktail of the week phase. So every week we have a new cocktail, and it was a great way for us to work with regulars, to open the cocktail world to some of the guests that were just coming for beers, and we became friends. So after a few weeks, we're like, okay, we have this new cocktail. Do you want to try it? It's on us. And then slowly they just come every week to try the new cocktail. So it was very, very easy and well received from the community.
That's a great idea, that cocktail of the week, especially to get beer drinkers, because obviously you come to a pub here, most people drink it. Actually, most people don't expect cocktails to be that great at a pub. It's really, I won't say it's rare, but they're definitely coming for the beer. So if that's the same, and especially in Paris, where they weren't, as you said, so in tuned to cocktails, that's brilliant. It's a great, see, the marketing in you.
And the cocktail of the week is always a best sell, whatever it is.
Oh, no
So
way.
even if we have a drink with red onion, it will still be the best sell, but people get really interested. And I think they kind of trust us now. So
Yeah, they're coming back for that cocktail
mm,
of the week. It's a
mm.
brilliant one. So let's go on to okay, you're chugging along, you're doing your cocktail of the week. You obviously are sustainability minded or community minded or sustainability and all the education, community plus waste minded. Um, why do you think it or how why did you feel it was necessary to start or why don't you talk about what your global series is and why you thought it was necessary to start something like that?
Definitely. Well, the whole thing about I mean, you said it right, it was more about community than sustainability. I think we're looking more into like community and responsibility.
Mhm.
Um, but it's just because we've always been kind of grateful. We are really lucky to be living in Paris. We have everything we need. So we're grateful to have some plates, some food on our plates, and like a roof over our head. So we're always grateful for all of this. So we really want to give back to our community. Also, the first year we opened in Paris, we were struggling. So we only survived because we have communities. Always been very grateful, and we kind of want to give back. Um, so the global series started as a fun project. We used to have this amazing festival in Paris, Cocktail Spirits, where they were really pushing education, and this disappeared with COVID, so we didn't have really a platform for this in Paris. So I think it's also very for me. I mean, I'm super happy to invite this like 9 people. That have a lot to say about the 3 topics that are very important to the Cambridge, which are like education, environment, and like the social aspect of the bar industry. So every year now we invite 9 bartenders from all around the world to share the story. There's 3 days of events and guest shift, but there's also one big day of education where we do some roundtables about very important topics, and it's super well received. We had over 100 people this year attending the seminars, which is very good for Paris, for France. So yeah, very happy about this. It was just a fun idea at the beginning where the rugby World Cup. I wanted to do something with other cocktail pubs, and then we were like, okay, why we don't do it with more bars?
Uh,
And yeah, no,
are they geared towards on trade or also consumers? Do any consumers come as well?
it's open to everyone for the education part and even the guest shift. Really, it's really full by the industry part. So we have a lot of bartenders, chefs, waiters, etc. coming. Uh, and yeah, we try to
Oh,
open it to cocktail schools as well. So we try to have a lot of students coming.
you all in the industry are just so conscious of it, so hyper conscious. I always tell people, I think you guys are really doing the most that I've ever seen in any industry. Of course, I only know this industry, but so much for sustainability. And I wish that everyone could attend these, laymen, common folk, whatever, people not in the industry to hear and to be influenced by you guys. And obviously, that's why I'm interviewing you is that I also want to get that word out because I find it so important. Um, do you find that this is getting disseminated as much as you would like to kind of the greater world at large?
I think it's just the right amount now.
Okay.
We don't want to stream it as a thing. We're really conscious about greenwashing, social washing. So everything we do is for us and the community, and we have all the information on our website. If people want to know more about it, we're happy to share if people want to know more about it. But we we don't want to put it in people's face and be like, hey, listen, we are the first B Corp. Oh, that's what we do. This is not really us. We're trying to be humble about it.
Oh gosh, well, I'm going to shout it out. Let me tell you. Hopefully, people like me do. Now, you brought it up, but I would love to talk a little bit about your B Corp status and what that process was like and why you decided to take those steps. Because a lot of people might not even know really what a B Corp is.
Of course, well, B Corp is the certification that is all about all the scopes of sustainability. So not necessarily just the planet, but also community and guests and transparency, governance. So it's all the parts of the company are taking into consideration, which is why it was really interesting to us because we have a motto because we always say like be nice in the planet, but don't forget the people on the way. We're very close to our community, and we really want to push this. So B Corp was a good structure for us to go through. And that's what we needed. It's the way Hugo works as well. It's always about trying to find some structure to get better. So the goal was not to shift it, but when we looked through different structures, and there was like the Paris Agreement or the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, we looked at all these things, and B Corp gave us, you have 200 questions or 200 reports to do. And for us, it was 200 opportunity to get better in different ways. So we just took them one by one. It took us like 18 months to go through it. And
Can,
we're
can
like,
you give
okay,
it? Sorry, can you give us an example of one or two of them?
yeah, some were really simple. Is to do like transparency meetings with your employees or in the staff. It's something we have always done. We always meet every week, but we don't have any report, and we don't really follow up. We do it. We have a small team, and we go on. But B Corp say, oh no, you need to have this report and structure. You need to be organized about it. So this kind of organization really helped us to get better. It was also some simple thing with like maybe your and the data of your guests, like how do you treat the data of your guests? Or we went through a website, we didn't know about this, and went through a website. So, okay, this maybe we need to change because it will be more secure for the people that go through our website, or with the banks, with the credit card details, etc. So you have a lot of different things that you don't actually know about, and some are very simple, some are not that simple. It's definitely not something that's easy for a small business and a small team to accomplish, but it's really rewarding at the end.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel that it's changed you as a company? Was there something on the list that's where you thought, oh gosh, I've never even thought of that, and now I do it completely differently? It may not be, there may
Um,
not be, because you may have been doing everything, but I was just wondering if there was something that it just awakened in you to do more of.
Or yeah, something else really eye-opening and something else really hard for us to improve. Like there's some categories with like we sell alcohol, so with B Corp is like not nice because you don't sell a nice product to your guests. So this is really challenging. So maybe we have to push more of our non-alcoholic offer, or
Okay.
there's something we can try to do. We also been doing our carbon footprint audits, so to know exactly where we spend the most of our footprint. And it's really eye-opening because we realize some like small decision can actually have a big impact. We knew beef was like bad for the planet. When you actually see your spending is like incredible. And from one day to another, we changed chicken and we saved about 8% of our footprint. So something like this, yeah, you can always get better. And that's the nice thing we have about B Corp. I don't want to preach about B Corp. I'm not here for that, but you always have to get better. Like we have 3 years in 3 years we have to redo the audit, and we don't have to
Gosh,
go through the initial
3 years.
score, but we have to get better than our score. So
Mhm.
that's what's interesting, is that they always push you to get better.
No, you're not preaching at all. No, it's really interesting. And also I'm hoping that, if any bars or anyone in the industry who may be listening might want to do it, they can hear from you that it is absolutely achievable and it's something maybe to have a goal for. And because it's a really wonderful thing that you've been able to achieve with this, and it's really important for the world. So I'm it's really exciting, and you should be so proud of yourselves. Now, there are a couple other things as well. I know you started something called Shaken Leaf, and I was wondering if you could tell everyone what that is, and if you're still doing it and how it works.
Yeah, of course. It came from something. We have something called the community plan within the team of the Cambridge, where every single person from the team walks into either like some team, education part, environment focus topics. And it was the goal of one of our teammate called Julia. He was like, okay, I want to share information and to collect information and share it to the world. So our first goal was to interview pioneers from the world of sustainability and responsibility. So we went out and interviewed people like Luke Worthy and Matt Wiley and
Yeah.
Agun from Penicillin. And um, it was to have this interview kind of destructured and put into simple advices. So you can go on the website and go into like, I want to improve my electricity spending on my water consumption. So you can go through water and you can find some tips, and maybe they will apply to your market, maybe they won't. But it's to have all this thing really simplified um, for everybody around the world to get some ideas and to get better. Because sometimes you don't know where to start, and people wants to get better, but there's also some pressure to be like, oh, I want to be zero waste, or I want to be sustainable. It's a really like step by step process, and the thing is to get better every day or every week, and not necessarily you can't get there in one day or 1 month.
Yeah,
So
of
simple
course.
devices, all collected in a single platform, and we also ask people, like anybody in the world, to go and put the information. There's like a form, or you can share your story, you can share some tips, and then we will go through it and put it on the website as well. So
Hmm.
it's a new project. It just started, but hopefully it will get bigger.
Yeah, it just shows how after 3 years, so many things can change as well. I'm sure you've seen that after 3 years of doing the series. A lot changes within that world, and it's great to have something that makes it completely up to date. Now, I would love to talk about some of the things that you do in the bar. You alluded to the fact that it was really tough for your first year a few minutes ago.
Mhm.
Why do you think that was, and why do you think things changed? Is it just people became more aware of what you were doing or what the world was doing in cocktails?
Um, I think there was a lot of different factors. Also, we struggle because we make some mistakes. We hire like too much staff. The staff rates in Paris are really high. You have a lot of taxes, and because we really care for our staff, it took a long time for us to restructure the team and to let people go. And so it affected a lot of the money we had. And but also in Paris, it's people like novelty. So for the first 2 months, we're doing really well, and then after you have a big crash, which is pretty hard to deal with. We didn't really have any money for PR or communication, so it just takes some time. I think it's a normal thing in Paris to wait a year and a half, 2 years before you actually see some improvement. I think was really hard for us is that we've been getting some awards right away. So we're something called the pudding, so we won like best bar, and then you win this award, and you're like, but nobody's there in the bar. So it's really frustrating. Um, but then after 1 year, we had COVID. So
Oh, yes.
for us in France, it was really, really easy. We had some good help from the government. All the staff were taken care of. So it was, we didn't struggle as much as other communities or countries. But also give us a lot of time to reassess and to take a step back and see our mistakes and what we can do better. And yeah, we were seeing some improvement before COVID, but after that, it's really when it started for us to get busy. Um, And of course, we had the 3 years ago, we had or 2 years ago, we had the first appearance in the 50 best world list. So that gave us a big push. But also, it changed a lot of the guests we have in the bar. So we used to be, maybe we lose a little bit of our regulars. We sell more cocktails, definitely. But we also had to adapt to this. So I give really long answers, but you can.
Sometimes people speak for an hour and a half, so don't. No, we want to hear you. It's all about you, and it's all about your bar. Uh, Also, you had the Olympics, so that I'm sure, brought some other people in. But I love the fact that you're doing something so new in the oldest part of Paris and Le Marais. Was there a reason why you picked there?
We had a few areas in mind. We were close to some areas, of course, but we had 3 or 4 areas that we're happy to be in there. I think the biggest thing was to be in an area that were open to having a pub, of course, but also where there's the ratio of like consumers between like 25 and 40 years old, some locals, but also some tourists, a mix of everything. But finding that this bar in Marais was really great because it was also in this little cocktail hub of this like Little Red Dog, Candelaria, like Celeste. Everything is like 5 minutes walk. So it really helped us to be in this cocktail world rather than just being like a pub in the neighborhood.
So, what are you doing going forward now? Now that the global series I know just ended.
Well, with the Cambridge, I think now we're looking for more stability. We as I mentioned, we have this thing called community plan, so we really try to push the team to work within the field arts in the bar, but outside of the bar, towards education, environment, some social aspect. We haven't done as much as we wanted the past year because we really got busy and we hired new positions, so the team got bigger. We also purchased a Little Red Door last year, so we went through a company of 8 to a company of 29. So there was some big changes for us. So I think we're looking for more stability in order to grow and to start doing again to community fields that really matter to us.
Well, that's really exciting. And as you brought up, you took over Little Red Door. How did that come about?
So Little Red Door was going through some, they were under administration, so not yet into bankruptcy, but they were looking the state of France were looking for some new owners. So we found it was honestly a good opportunity for us. When does one of the best bar in the world, like 300 meters from your own bar, close? So it was, first of all, a good opportunity financially and to grow as a company. But also, we didn't really want to see Little Red Dog going to like bigger groups or to be just bought out for the image or for the brand and not really have the legacy it deserves. So there was a mix of these things that led us to just go through it and to go for it. So we won the bid and we had the keys, and in 2 weeks we had to reopen was still the 6th best bar in the world at the time. So a lot of pressure on the team and from the guests. Like I guess maybe 95% of the customers weren't aware that it's actually been a change. So we had to step into some big shoes.
Yeah, yeah. You are their angels. I mean, if anyone should take over, how fabulous that it was you guys, because you certainly have the same vision and ethos and missions, and so it's great to see. So
Thank you.
I think that's a great place to stop. Thank you. Obviously, you've got a great website where anyone can find anything, and I'll have all the links on the show notes. So everyone head to Paris and go to the pub. I know that sounds funny, but
Yeah. I think our website is also very interesting because we had every year we do an ESG report. I think it's nice to go through it as a bartender, as a business owner, because you can find a lot of tips, and we're very transparent and we love data. So there's a lot of information in there that can be useful or not, but no, I'm really interested to see us. If you're a little bit nerdy, I think it's nice to go.
Definitely it is. I am a little nerdy and I've been through it and it's fantastic. But well, thank you so much for being on the show. It's great to hear your story and I can't gosh, it makes me want to get on the Eurostore right now and come over and have a drink with you, even though it's only 8:30 in the morning here.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great.
Sure, it was great for me too. So thanks and we'll see you à bientôt.